When it comes to wireless earbuds, you have the most expensive ones out there and then the most affordable ones on the market. But affordable should not mean you have to compromise on the level of quality and the premium, the comfort, all that stuff that you should get with your wireless earbuds. And that's where this comes into play. The Technics EAH AZ40M2, which you have right in front of us. It supports LDAC over Bluetooth, which is great if you have a compatible Android device. And also you have something that has active noise cancellation, good level of battery life, and so on. So let's unbox it and see what we get, and we'll talk about the design and everything else. So this is available in white, black, and this rose gold sort of finishing, which looks really cool. We'll just take this out of the packaging. Here we are. So we just take this out. It's got Techniques on there, nice and subtle. Then we get some ear tips here, so different sizes. We have large, small, extra small, and medium. So medium is missing here because it's already pre-installed on the earbuds themselves. So we'll see when we take the earbuds out. So you get that in the packaging, ready to go. And then the AZ40M2 themselves here. We just unwrap this, and it comes in this nice rose gold finishing in terms of the case. So we have Techniques written on there, finished in rose gold as well. It's got flat bottom. On the back, we have a USB-C ports for charging this back up. We'll talk about the battery life as well. But what I love about this is the flat bottom, so you can easily just place that on the surface and it's not going to move anywhere, which is really cool. Just makes it nice and sturdy. Just the little things. Obviously, inside of here as well, we get the actual Technics earbuds in there as well. So it's got the LED lights and stuff like that for Bluetooth connectivity, notification stuff. So we'll come back to that for now. Ooh, that was satisfying. Nice. Elsewhere, we get all the documentations like Quick Start Guide, which tells you all about the touch controls and how to set this up very quickly, things like your warranty card information, and so on and so forth. So give that a read. And last but not least, we have a small USB-C cable there to charge this back up. So this is going to be nice and portable to carry around with you wherever you need it to go. Back to the AZ40M2. Then we have the earbuds themselves. We just take them out of the casing, which, like I said, this is very, very lightweight. There's nothing to it at all. And yeah, it has that satisfying close sound. Anyway, I digress. Look at the earbuds themselves. It's got this nice finishing. So this circle area there, that's actually touch control as well, so you can tap it, triple tap it, etc. It's got the right and left written on there, so you know which ear to put which in. So the medium ear tips is already installed on there as well, with just nice silicone finishing. So pick the right one, because that would affect the level of noise cancellation that you get, because if it fits perfectly, less noise goes in and less audio leaks as well. Personally, I love the look of it. I love the finishing on there as well. I love the subtle Technics logo on there. This is touch control, and love this rose gold finishing. It's elegant and it's giving this premium look to it as well, which is really good. And if you just look at it as well, it just looks like it's just designed to be worn all day long, because it's very much lightweight and this is nice and soft material is just used all around here, which is really good. Some specs for you as well. So this supports up to 10 devices multi-pairing, and also multi-point connectivity with up to 3 devices, so you can seamlessly move your sound between those 3 devices, which is good. So most of us have your laptop, your phone, your tablet these days, so all 2 phones, so you can connect all those together and just seamlessly move music between those devices. One thing to bear in mind though is this supports LDAC, so when you start connected to multiple devices, so up to 3 devices, you will lose that LDAC codec feature. So that's something to bear in mind. You do get SBC and AAC codecs, which your iPhone users would appreciate. The app that comes with it supports iOS and Android as well. We'll go through that shortly, but more specifications for you. In terms of battery life, we're looking at up to 5.5 hours of playback with active noise cancellation on, and you have 18 hours backup with the case. So this is a quick charge case as well. So say 15 minutes of charge will give you 60 minutes, so 60 minutes of playback. So pop that in there for 15 minutes, you get an hour worth of playback. That's a full flight where you can just quickly listen to music just from that quick charge. Besides the secure fit, the elegant design, and so on and so forth, one thing that's also cool on here is the fact that you can use one at a time if you want to. So you can have one left in the charging case and wear the other one, so you can just listen to music with one ear. If you want to, you can do so. Something that some people do when making phone calls. They don't want to have both plugged in at all times, so they can do that as well. For making phone calls, you have beamforming technology on this. With beamforming technology, you get clear calls, which means it captures and transmits your voice clearly despite any surrounding noise. So whether you you were at a train station, in a noisy cafe or whatever, this will pick up your voice clearly, so the person on the other end can hear you clearly with no issues at all. The setup process is very straightforward as well. So what you have to do is literally just flip the lid open, and if you have a compatible device, it will automatically recognize the pair of AZ40M2. So that way it goes through the whole setup process and you're paired. If it doesn't, you can simply go into your Bluetooth settings and just pair it the old-fashioned way. But once you've done that, you've done the firmware updates or any latest updates that's available, you are greeted with this interface that we can see in front of us here. So what you have is battery percentage on there. So you can see the case is currently 10%. It's not been charged yet. And then the left and the right earbuds, you see their battery life as well. What you can then do is look at things like noise cancellation settings. So if we go to noise cancellation, it gives you the option to go to noise cancellation there. And then you have off and then ambient sound as well. So this way you can control the level of ambient sound or outside noise that you actually get when you listen to your music here. So I normally just have this on noise cancelling, so I can have full control over my music experience. It doesn't stop there though. So if you go to ambient sound, we have different options available as well. So you can go transparent, which means you let all the surround sound around you or surrounding sound around you, you let them all in, or you can go attention. So this way it emphasizes all the voices around you so you can still hear things around you. So that's pretty cool. So you have the option there if you were going to go to, if you're going to use the ambient sound mode, or you can just do noise cancellation. So that way noises are isolated based on what ear tips you put in and how securely fit they are in your ears, which, speaking of which, these are very secure fit and very comfortable to wear. Next, we go to sound settings. So this is where you can start to pick the way or the characteristics of the sound you're listening to, how you want them to be. So we have things like direct. So we can do direct. This is very neutral. And then we have bass. So this is more bass focused. And then we have things like super bass. We have vocal. You have treble plus. We have dynamic. And then we have custom as well. So custom, if you know exactly what you're doing, you can customize your sound signature yourself, so that way it's very much tailored to the way you like to listen to your sound. But usually for me, I just put on dynamic, because with dynamic, it wears all the hats, which means this way, if I'm listening to jazz, if I'm listening to R&B, if I'm listening to hip hop, this would automatically adjust itself and make sure that the sound I'm listening to is dynamic enough that I'm able to enjoy all the different music genre that I like to listen to. Back to the home screen, you can also select your Find My Headphone settings. So you can emit sound, you can switch it on for location and stuff like that. So this is useful if you were to lose your earbuds, you'll be able to find it wherever it is. What's also cool as well is if you're wondering what music or audio codec you're actually using. So the top left corner would actually tell you that you're using AAC codec. We go into settings, we have a lot more to play with here. So for example, we have a voice prompts language, so you can select different languages there. We have a variety of options available. So if you speak other languages, that's great. And then in headphone name, you can change the name as well. So instead of having the standard EAH AZ40M2, you can name that whatever you want to name it. And then what's also cool is if you notice on the home screen, this is black, whereas the headphone I've got in front of me is rose gold. But in settings, you can actually change the body color to suit which one you go for. So I think I said white at the start, it's actually silver. So you have silver, black, and the rose gold version. So we can change that. So now when we go to home, it matches the actual headphones that I've got here. Back into settings, then we have things like your actions. So we can add headphones, use other headphones, find headphones. You can have auto power off as well. Connection mode, we go to connection mode. This is where you can select LDAC for headphones. One thing to bear in mind here is if you switch on LDAC, it means you get lesser battery life on here. So playback time on here. So instead of the 5.5 hours, you get up to 3.5 hours using LDAC with noise cancellation. So it's not a lot, but 3.5 hours is still quite a lot. But you do get that quick charge case, which means you can charge it back up very quickly. Coming out of connection, so we go to multi-points, which I spoke about at the start. We can connect up to 3 devices at the same time seamlessly, switch audio between all the devices. So here, we get to control how that works. So for example, we have only one device is available here for multi-point because I'm using LDAC. So that way we only use one device if you want to use LDAC on my Android device. If I'm not bothered about using LDAC, when I can switch on 2 devices, I can switch on 3 devices. LDAC would also work with 2 devices connected, by the way, as well, but they recommend using 1 device at the same time. But if you're going to use 2 devices, you are recommended to actually change the playback quality to best effort. So it will do its best to make sure they still get that LDAC quality on both devices. Next, we have the operations and sound section, which is where you can customize your touch function, for example. So here we can customize the touch sensor. So when making phone calls, it'll be different. When using general operations like playing music and so on, that will be different as well. So in general operations on left and right, we can customize what they do as well. So we have a single tap, double tap, triple tap, and touch and hold, which is like a long press basically. So if we tap on these options, it gives you all the options available. So we have things like playback or pause, back a track, forward a track, volume reduction, volume increments. You have switching the ambient sound control mode, you have noise cancellation, ambient sound. You can turn off ambient sound control, or you can have no functions at all. The reason why you have the no function option is sometimes you want to adjust your earbuds, and what will happen is by accident, you might play pause or skip track, which interrupts your listening experience. So you can turn it off completely, so that way if you ever need to adjust it, it doesn't affect that touch sensitivity or your music listening experience. If you do decide to use your touch sensor to also control the level of noise cancellation, there's options there as well for that. So if you're going to touch sensor noise cancellation settings, here we can select if we want noise cancelling, ambient sound, or turn off ambient sound control completely. So that option's there. So if maybe you just sat on a bar on a train station, whatever, someone just taps your shoulder, you can quickly just tap to switch it off so you can still hear what's going on. Or the announcements, you can quickly tap and still hear the announcements around you. So that's pretty good. What Technics also add is the option to adjust the level of background noise reduction, if I can get my words out. But yeah, if we go to level of background noise reduction, we can have normal or strong. I just have it on normal because that doesn't affect the level of audio quality I get. Because what I experience is when I have it on strong, I kind of experience a lesser sort of open music experience that you normally get with Technics audio sound signature. So I would just leave it on normal because that works really well anyway. Otherwise, in settings, that's basically everything that you get to do with your Technics AZ40M Mark II. So you can play around with those settings and make it your own. Just the way you like your listening experience, you can customize it and do that exactly the way that you want it. Obviously, this is going to be different a little bit on iOS devices because you won't be able to have that LDAC experience, but you still get a really good audio experience with that SBC. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Obviously, LDAC is much better when it comes to your digital signal processing and stuff like that. Speaking of signature Technics sound quality, you get a clear and detailed sound that's delivered wirelessly through that unique acoustic chamber, and you also have harmonizer in there and a compact 6mm drivers. So add all that to the LDAC high-res audio, you are getting a really, really good listening experience here. It doesn't stop there though. For that noise cancellation, you get a pure sound clarity because you have the feed-forward microphone in there that captures the environmental sound and digital processing removes noise in addition to that passive noise cancellation or noise cancelling with the earplug effect. Whilst all that might just sound like jargon to some people, those basically mean you're getting a really good sound quality no matter what audio or genre, music genre you're listening to. So for me, the way that I explain that to people is you get a neutral sound quality here, which is very open, it's just very clean, and that's what you want from this kind of headphones because you don't want too much noise or artifacting when it comes to sound and listening experience. With this, you'll be able to hear any music genre the way that you want to hear it. Very clean, very sound. Having said that though, the place that this does lack sometimes is when it comes to that bass. If it doesn't feel as solid as you want it to be, it lacks a bit of depth when it comes to bass. But if you do switch your sound settings, you'll be able to maybe add a bit more to the bass if you really want to. But by default, it doesn't give you that depth when it comes to bass. But having said that though, really good overall sound quality. The soundstage is excellent. It just sounds really good. Obviously, you get 6mm drivers in there, which is not as big as the big brothers of what this is. So you can get the more expensive versions of this in the lineup. But with this one, it's still good. It doesn't take away from what you get for this, especially for the price point. So for me, any day, I'd pick a sound that's neutral and well balanced as well. For frequency response, for those who are interested, you're looking at 20 Hz to 40 kHz on here. Overall, for me, I think you get a really good design of a pair of earbuds. The sound quality is great, good battery life as well. It's Bluetooth 5.3, which is up to date as well, and backwards compatible. And I think if anything that's missing on the end of software is ear tip testing, which you get with some of the competitors. You don't get that with this. So you just have to make sure you pick the right ear tips so that it fits properly in your ears. But having said that, this fits very well. It's elegant. It has a secure fit to wear this all day long with no issues at all, which is what you'd want. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions, do drop them there as well. I'll do my best to answer you. But in the meantime, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.